Just a little damp out here today.
It's muddy. It's wet. It's Tuesday, and it's November 1st. We wanted to be done by Halloween. That didn't happen. So here we are, trying to get done with it being wet.
Hey everybody, it's getting close to noon here on Tuesday. We were last in the field Saturday, got rained out then, got like 7, 8 tenths all night Saturday night, got a couple sprinkles on Sunday. Yesterday, thought it was supposed to be sunny and a little breezy, said it was cloudy with just a little bit of wind. Had a really heavy dew last night, and check and see if this cotton is dry enough. Most of the dew pretty much is dried up on it. I can still feel a little bit of moisture in there, biting into some seeds. You can hear them pop a little bit. So, I mean, the cotton's dry enough to pick. It's gonna pick like crap. You can tell a lot of this stuff, was hard locked, never really fluffed out, and then got a rain kind of beat it back into the hole a little bit, and it's not gonna pick as clean. You can tell it's kind of cloudy right now, no breeze. It's going to take multiple days for this stuff to fluff back out and to pick pretty clean. It's now November 1st. Season's getting real short, and we got a clear stretch of weather this week that we should be able to get the rest of our cotton picked. So I guess we're just going to go ahead and start. We're probably going to leave a few pounds out here, but if we wind up waiting, it's going to put the rest of our crops at risk, our wheat crop at risk. So we're just gonna go ahead and get it, and hopefully a wind will pop up today. Hopefully the sun will come on out and it'll start fluffing this stuff out after a few hours. You can see my aerial seeded cover crop is germinated, looking good. Gonna have a real good stand of grass here, and grass is primarily what I planted because we're going to have soybeans in this field. We didn't include any legumes because we don't need any nitrogen production when we're going into soybeans. So we got some cereal rye, annual ryegrass, oats, and I think put some rape in here too. So anyway, it's looking good. It's going to start getting a greenish tinge out here this month of November. All right, these 6 rows I just picked. If you look out here on this very outside row that I'm not picking, that's what I picked before the rain. You can tell there's quite a bit more cotton out here. My yield monitor was reading about 200 pounds per acre less than when I stopped. Now that's not even 200 pounds an acre it's leaving out there, but I'm picking back down these 6 rows again to see how much cotton I got in the basket, to just try and estimate how much we're leaving out here after picking one time. So there's the basket I picked after picking down once, and as late as it is, we're going to pick today. I mean, we got to get done. We got a lot of other crops to get out, but if there's enough cotton in the basket when I get down here to the other end, I might just make one pass through here, then turn right back around and make a second pass through here, because with cotton, we're looking at between $1, $1.10 per pound. With the kind of cotton that we could be leaving out here, it'll definitely pay to pick it twice. We won't get very many acres covered, but we'll get more acres covered doing it this way than just going home for the rest of the day and coming back in another day or two after it's fluffed back out. And even after it's fluffed back out some, a couple days, it's still not going to pick as clean as what it did a couple days ago. So this might be what we have to do on the last, we got like 160 acres or so. Lord, I hope not. I hope we get some sun and wind, really fluff this cotton back out, and we can just make one pass through it here. But today, this might be what we're doing. I don't know if you can see through the basket or not, but it's definitely putting a little bit back there. I don't know how much that is, probably about a quarter of a bale or so. between $100 and $200 worth of cotton, and that was just on one pass. That's what we were leaving out there. Yeah, we got two options: either pick it twice today, or wait a few days, hopefully pick it once, and still leave more cotton out there than what we're going to be leaving today. But what we just harvested will easily pay the cost of running the picker back through it at the price of cotton. Now, if cotton was 50 cents a pound, it'd be a different story. But it's not. It's over $1 a pound. So, first time I've ever had to do this.
Are you gonna double pick all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there was probably close to a quarter of a bale in there, you know, between $100 and $200. So, I mean, even if we give it another couple days, I mean, it's still not going to pick as clean as what I'm doing now and going back over it twice. I mean, this stuff is just up in the hole, and it's not going to fluff back out.
So what do I need to tell Carter about bush hogging then?
No, don't bush hog anything I haven't picked twice. I mean, I'm going to try and pick as much as I can first time, but then when I get to where I'm having to wait on you because you're having to pack a lot of cotton, then I'm going to spend some of that time going back and picking it twice. So that he doesn't need to bush hog anything that hadn't been picked already. So what my strategy is going to be is as normally I pick in first gear, which is a half a mile an hour slower than second gear, just to give the spindles more revolutions through the plant, try and grab more of this cotton that's tied in the hull. But see, if I'm going to pick it twice, you know, I'll just go through there the first time in second gear and come back again in second gear, and no, that'll speed things up a little bit, be a little bit less fuel, and should do the same job.
So he's having a double pick, meaning go down and then go back because the cotton is not coming out of the holes. So Carter's having to wait until it's double picked, and you can see where he's double picked these rows and then he hasn't on those. And then I keep thinking he's gonna go dump, and then I'm chasing around like the field, you know, around the field like a squirrel. So I'm just gonna sit here until he tells me he's full, because he keeps doubling back. Yeah, Mother Nature said it was gonna be sunny today. Well, not on our fields. Just gonna follow him like I follow the combine, because why not, right? So last night was Halloween, and last night of the zombie paintball trail and the Camp Blood, and Matt and I got to work the haunted house side, and I think we're gonna make that picture our Christmas card. But he was Leatherface chasing people with a chainsaw when they came out of the last cabin, and I was a dead patient with a missing arm, and I was carrying a mannequin arm around and like telling people to come in the cabin the doctor was in. It was a lot of fun. Like, we don't ever get to do that stuff. We always get to watch everyone else do it. So for us to kind of not have to worry about the farm and go play character at a haunted house, it was a lot of fun. So there was a lot of times where I almost was laughing at myself. And then I had one of my friends come through and she's like, "Oh my God, Kelly, is that you?" I was like, "Just go in the cabin." I was laughing. So, yeah, it was fun. Carter got to be a zombie for the last time. He enjoys it. And kind of glad that's over and done with. No more busy weekends. And now it's November, so now it's crunch time. It's crunch time, baby. Look, he's watching TV on his phone. Busted. Okay, I can't say nothing. I watch TV too. I am wasting fuel following you around this field. You can come to me.
Well, here we are, last pass on this farm. It's definitely the right decision to go back and pick it again twice and not leaving anything out there. Probably picked us up, I'm guessing, another 150 pounds an acre that we would have left out here, and price of cotton, can't afford to do that. But anyway, after we scrap these last 6 rows back the other way, we're gonna be heading straight over that way, Porter Cable Bottom. We got 27 acres over there, and whoa, Carter. got 27 acres over there, and this stuff, it's starting to pick a little bit cleaner than it was. So maybe by later this afternoon we can go back, put it back in first gear, and just give it a once over. Although these last 3 farms we got to do was even less mature than this, could be even more closed up and knotty. I don't know. We'll just have to see once we get over there.
And yes, I'm wearing my sunglasses out on a cloudy day because the bags underneath these eyes are Walmart specials. And the girl's gotta have a little bit of flair, doesn't she? All right, so Nate's got 1 basket. My dad has 1 basket. Now we're gonna split this basket between the 2 of them so they're not sitting in my tractors idling. Especially this one over here, glued to his daggum phone 24/7. Gotta love that age grip, yo. Do you guys have that one child that can literally fall asleep anywhere, anytime, in any position? That would be this child. He is done knocked out for the last 45 minutes, asleep. Yep, just asleep. His neck's gonna hurt. Look at this. Look at this. Just napping. Just just napping. 14 is rough, man.
Like somebody put her up in high gear, he won the race. I can't go any faster though. Carter's back on the bush hog today. Because I'm had to pick this twice. He actually parked the tractor at the other end and fell asleep. I had to get Kelly to drive all the way down there and wake him up. He was smooth passed out. Tell you what, being 14 years old is rough, real rough. I just don't know how they cope with it. Well, we made it to my ugly cotton. I mean, probably about 50% of the bolls are they're cracked open, but I don't know if we'll be able to harvest any of it. That early freeze really did a number on this field, probably the next farm, and then the last farm we got to do. What I thought was going to be, some fantastic cotton is just not going to be realized. Look at that yield, 700, 800, 900 pounds is what my monitor's showing. That's the first picking. We'll pick up some more going through it a second time, but there's a lot of lost yield up there in the top third of the plant. It's just plain old ugly. To say another week of good, warm growing weather, that could have made a huge difference on this field. As it is, this should be some of my stoutest ground, and this was some of the best looking cotton I had all year long. Never suffered from the drought or anything. It just too green and not enough growing season to mature it out. I don't even know if defoliating it earlier gives the defoliant more time to work before the freeze, if that would have helped or if that would have hurt. I just don't know. This cotton is really on par with it's on par with some of what our better cotton last year was, which we had a miserable crop last year, so we're still going to make a profit on it. We're going to do more than break even, but man, this is one of those cases of what might have been. This farm over here, we're definitely going to have to pick it a second time, because so much of those bolls are 1/3 and a half open, and this first pass, the spindles is catching a little bit of it and kind of stringing it out, and then going back the second time, there's enough out that the spindles can grab it and pull it out of the hull. And I had my icing on top of the cake. Kelly just texted me that module builder number 1 has developed another leak. It's the same one I had to weld at night earlier in the season, and I swore there was no way anything could leak through it again. Well, apparently it is. I'm at a point with these module builders, I'm ready to back them up to this creek right here and use my loader and just shove them on in the creek. let them be some wildlife habitat. I'm so fed up with these module builders. But anyway, I got them a spot laid off to put the module builders up here. When they get over here with them, I'm gonna go over there and take a look at it. All right, false alarm, no welding needed. Just turned out the nut for the hydraulic fitting on the top of the tramper cylinder had worked its way loose somehow, and that's where it was leaking from. So thank goodness, an easy, quick fix for once. Well, Kelly Carter and my father-in-law about to shut it down for the evening. It got too wet for me to be picking what I was, our first pick over there, so I'm turning back around and going back and picking this a second time, see how much I get. It actually started picking a little bit better this afternoon, so I don't know if we'll continue this tomorrow. I'm gonna see how much I get in the basket tonight on this farm. If you notice, it's just a little darker in here than it normally is at night. I got my yield monitor unplugged because I don't want to screw up any of the yield data I got on there by picking over it a second time, because I'm only on WAS, and you know, it could be over a few inches, and you know, and I'm trying to pick the opposite way of what I picked the first time, so it might show like one of my units over in maybe just a little sliver of uncovered ground, and then it'll start recording that data, which is a lot lower than what the actual data was. And I don't want to get my yield map screwed up, because we're going to depend on these yield maps not only for you know, future planting populations on corn, but also fertilizer crop removal for next year. And really need some really accurate maps in order to be able to do that well. Anyway, before we started back picking this again, my monitor was showing we had picked about 32 acres today. Of course, 12 of that was on that other farm that we picked the second time, so that doubled me up. So by the time I shut this picker off tonight and go home, we will have covered a little over 60 acres today, because I've had to pick all of this stuff twice. Very inefficient doing it this way, but if I just gone home and waited another day to dry out, you know, that'd be 32 acres of cotton that'd still be left in the field. So, but I tell you, I definitely don't want to be doing this every day from here on out. But anyway, I'm gonna pick on, I don't know, another 2 to 3 hours. See how long it takes me to get all this that I picked first, to get it covered, and I'll show you what the final results are. And hopefully I don't have one of these stalks break off and catch in one of my rear doors and have a choke up in the bag, where I don't have a sensor to tell me if I got a choke up, and burn up a stack of Doffers. Because that would definitely defeat the purpose of picking the second time if I've got to pay for a new Doffer stack. Alright, here's a moment of truth. Let's see what we got. We still got a little bit left there in the bowl buggy. Let's see what we got. We picked on about 12 acres. Yeah, there's more in there than I thought. I don't know, by the time that's ginned, it's probably a bale or a little over, so let's just say it's 600 pounds off of about 12 acres. 50 pounds an acre, $50 an acre. I probably broke even, maybe even made a little bit of money, but the cost of diesel fuel and wear and tear on the picker, I really just don't think it's worth it. It might have been worth it today, but if that sun's out tomorrow and we get a little bit of a breeze blowing, it's going to continue to pick better and better, and I just don't think it'll be worth it then. Anyway, it's almost 10 o'clock. I reckon I'll clean out these heads and go home and find some supper. See y'all in the morning. So last night, Mother Nature happened yet again. Got home, walked in the door about 11:30 last night or so. Felt like it was just starting to sprinkle. Checked radar. Didn't really see anything concern me. It looked like just some ground, clutter on radar. But apparently overnight, we got over 1/10 of an inch. But not only is the cotton too wet to pick out there, the big problem is that we had cotton in that module untarped. We got cotton in that module untarped, and then you can see the bull buggy back there that's got cotton in there uncovered. So all of that cotton is wet. Nothing we can do except let it dry out. In order to have that, we need that sun to pop out, and looks like hopefully here pretty soon it will be. So in the meantime, I pretty much got the picker service ready to go. Looks like maybe by mid-afternoon, hopefully, got my fingers crossed, we'll be able to go pick some cotton. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get on the bush hog here and go around the edges of the fields on all this cotton ground that we just picked right here in this area, and bush hog around the fields, get them all nice and tidy. So, messing up with my plan here. My plan was to get done on Friday and plenty of time before the predicted rain this weekend. Now we're gonna lose probably half of a day and could put that in jeopardy. Gotta love it. All right, think it's dry enough. Kelly's trying to dump that damp cotton into the module builder. I'm getting the heads warmed up, and I don't know, we got maybe 5 acres left on this farm, then we'll be moving on down the road, hopefully. Well, here we are back under the lights again. Man, it's done gotten to that time of year where it seems like you don't work hardly at all in the daylight anymore. You only work a few hours and you gotta turn your lights back on. I don't much care for the heat of summer, but I sure do like those long daylight hours. Sure feels like you can get a lot accomplished without being out in the field all night long. I'd say we had an okay day today. We got started picking just a hair after 2 o'clock. We finished up the last farm, had like 9 more acres left on it, but we had to pick it twice. Then we had to move about 4 or 5 miles down the road through some pretty heavy traffic over here to the McClary farm. And I'm gonna, we got 22 acres over here, and I'm gonna do my best to finish it up before we call it a day. Yeah, I know I'm low on water. I don't know if we'll be able to do it or not. It's starting to get pretty heavy out there as far as the dew going. We don't like that much more though. But anyway, as you can see, I mean, this cotton just ain't that good. We got the bolls there, the cotton's there. We're just not able to get all the cotton out there. I mean, this was some of the most immature cotton I defoliated this year. I mean, I bet there's maybe 5 to 10% of this cotton open whenever I defoliated it. And, you know, it was just green as a gourd, some of the greenest cotton I've ever defoliated. And then the recurring theme with this fall, that early freeze, you know, it got it. It got it. I mean, this right here should easily be 12 to 1,400 pound cotton easily. And my monitor shows it's picking 700-800 pounds. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. Although this year, I believe we lost a little bit more than we won. We lost that our entire corn crop, our early soybean crop was okay. And then, well, I don't know, probably about 65 to 70% of our cotton has been either good or just outstanding. And then, well, the last 30% that we're on now, you know, it is what it is. Just go ahead and get it out of the field. Let the chips fall where they may. All right, I got a question that hopefully some of you farmers can help me out with. It's a phenomenon I've noticed my whole life. What is it about whenever you turn the lights on, it just feels like everything is going at warp speed? You know, all day long I'm sitting here plodding along 4 to 4.5 miles an hour, just jamming on this hydro handle, trying to get another 10 or 2 miles an hour. But as soon as I turn those lights on, it feels like I'm going 10 miles an hour and having a hard time holding on the road. What's the scientific reasoning behind that? Anybody got an answer? Just gonna be one of life's great mysteries, I guess. water on the cotton picker actually serves two purposes. First, there's a system on the heads with pads on it that are that water sprays into these pads, and the spindles have to rotate under, and that serves to wet the spindles and also to clean the spindles. See, these spindles are moving through these cotton plants all day long at high speed, and these plants are full of sap, and without any way to clean them, you know, it won't be long before the spindles turn green and sticky, and they just won't pick because they're not clean. They won't be able to grab the cotton. Also, the second function is that cotton is attracted to moisture, so if you got a damp spindle, the cotton will be attracted to that spindle and make the spindle be able to pick more cotton and to be able to pick it cleaner. So hope that answers the questions of why we need water on a cotton picker. I don't normally call out other people's content on my channel, mainly because I really ain't got enough time to talk about all the stuff I want to talk to. But if y'all get a chance, there's a video Dylan Joyce put out, Dylan Joyce Farms, that y'all at the very least need to go watch, like the opening minute of the video. It's some of the funniest and best stuff I've ever seen. His video is called An All New Breed of Power. Of course, by the time you see this video, it will be, you know, several weeks, you know, from now. Anyway, he put it out today, and he opens up the video, I'm thinking, with a voiceover of a 1980s John Deere commercial, and then he overlays it with videos of his own tractors that he took. Anyway, it's really, really good. I highly recommend, if y'all get the chance, go check it out. It's worth it. I tell you what, my dream one day is to grow up and be like Dylan Joyce and be able to make opening intros to videos just as good as he does. Alright, this farm is done, and we picked most of it second time. This farm is 22 acres plus 9 acres on the other farm, so 31 acres we covered, but about 62 acres that we actually picked, because we picked it all twice. But that brings us down to, we got 74 acres cotton left. 2 days before the rain, 37 acres per day is all we need to cover. And I'm not going to worry about picking this stuff a second time. We're going to get it out before the rain comes. Shouldn't be any problem, as long as we don't have any problem. Shouldn't be any problem as long as we don't have any breakdowns, but well, we seen how the last couple of weeks ago. Anyway, it's about 10 o'clock. Gonna go up here, park it, clean the heads out, get an early start to tomorrow, go home, fill the service truck up with fuel and water, and go lay my head down on a pillow and probably have a few nightmares about hydraulic leaks on the module builder. That's how I'm anticipating the rest of my night to go. Anyway, bring you back in the morning when we're back on the road.